Hello. In this video we're going to take information that a user has put in on this page here, which is a PHP page made with PHP and HTML, and we're going to enter information into our SQL database or our MySQL database over here. So having a look at the page, they enter the information and then it will come back to us. I just realized there are validations in here, so I'm just going to put some data in. And there you go, it will say successful when it passes all of those validations. So just having a look at the file here, up the very top I have included connect, and connect is where all my information is to connect to the database. You might just have that in your page, but you do need something similar to this so that your PHP can actually connect to your database and enter this information. So, looking back at the page, all this is doing is collecting the information and sending it to these variables, first, last, and age. And there are a series of validations here to make sure that information is correct, or at least it's the right type of information. And if you look down here in my inputs, in the HTML, we've got name, first. We actually haven't got any validations there, so let's just put some in. So required, yes, so we want them to be required. Yep, so there's 3 requireds, and I'm also going to set a type for each of them. Type equals text. There we go. So the first and last names are going to be text. Just going to copy and paste that. And I'm going to validate that that last one is age. So there we go. Age, sorry, is a number. And I'm also going to validate that the max is 130, so that they can't put anything greater than that. So I'm just going to save that and have a quick look and make sure I haven't broken anything. So here we go, just reloading. So again, Mark Flintstone, age 2. There you go. No, that's good. So the validation worked. So Mark Flintstone, oops, age must be in numerals. Let's try it one more time. Okay, everything was successful, so it said successful. Well, that's terrific. So we go to the bit of the page where it says successful, and that's just right there. So in my case, I've been doing all these checks on the data, and I had a boolean for success, and success equaled true, and if something went wrong, then it equaled false. So this bit of code here will only run if it's free of errors. So what I'm going to do is, this is where I'm going to put my information in. But before I do this, I'm going to clean it up. So this is the format I use to do this. This takes out any unusual characters, any characters that could be used to hack the database with a MySQL injection. And it also helps for names like mine with an apostrophe in it, because they won't save normally. It will think that it'll mess up the query effectively. So I'm going to create this thing called first2. And first2 is going to use the MyReal escape string, or the MySQL escape string, and I am converting the variable called first and cleaning it up. So I'll just copy and paste that a couple of times because I want to clean up all 3 variables. So we're going to have last 2, there we go, and last is what I'm cleaning up there, and I'm going to do the same for age. So they're all nice and clean. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my query to go into the database. Okay, so these lines of code here make the query. You will see that the query there is empty, and then it will run that, and whatever is in here will come back if it was successful. So let's jump over to the web interface for my MySQL database, and I'm going to create a query here. Okay, I am going to insert because I want to put something in there, and I'm going to grab all of that. And I'm going to do the rest of my editing here in my IDE. So there we go. So it's actually saying I'm going to insert the fields ID, first, last, and age. Now I don't want to include ID because that's going to be generated by the database. So I'm just putting in first, last, and age. In the values section, you'll notice it's actually having me put in 4 bits of information, but because I took out ID, I'm only going to put in 3. If I say I'm going to put in 4, then I would have to put in 4, and it would cause it to fail if they didn't match. So the first one I'm going to put in, value number 1, well, I look, and that's the thing that'll go in the field called first. Well, in my case, that's going to be first2, which is the cleaned up value there. Second one, I look, that'll go in the field called last. Well, that's easy, that'll be last2. And no surprises here, the last one to go in will be age 2. There we go. Now, if this works, then the code in here will run. So what I'm going to do is set my error message, which is doing work for my validation. I'm going to set this to say record entered or record saved. There we go. And if it does not work, I would like to know that. I don't know why it wouldn't work, but I would like to know it. So the error message in that case will be record, and I'm going to put capital there so it's really obvious to me while I'm developing, record not saved. Now, in case you're wondering how that appears, down here in the HTML, I've got a little line of PHP code which is just error, echoing the value of error. Okay, let's run this and see if it works. I don't know that I'm all that optimistic, but we'll know in a minute. So, refresh the page. Terrific. Okay, Mark Flintstone, age 53, submit. So it says record saved. Well, if that's true, I should be able to go into my database and look at the end of it and see if there's a new record. Indeed, record 101, because it created it itself. Mark Flintstone, age 53. So there you go. We have added a record to our database.